middle-income countries. So there is a clear problem that low and most middle-income countries are not receiving the vaccine yet. At the outset, rich countries have bought up the majority of the supply of multiple vaccines. Now, we're also seeing both high and middle-income countries that are part of COVAX making additional bilateral deals. This potentially bumps up the price for everyone and means high-risk people in the poorest and most marginalized countries don't get the vaccine.
The people likely to die from this infection is not everybody in every country. It's very particular risk groups by age and by vulnerability who are likely to get very sick and likely to die. It is frontline health workers who are exposed to this virus every day. This is whom we need to protect first.
And in business, the international oil benchmark Brent crude extended its gains on Friday, rising above $55 per barrel in what is a potential boost to Nigeria's crude oil export revenue. Brent crude, against which Nigeria's oil is priced, hit an 11-month high of $55.41 per barrel at 2:50 p.m. Nigerian time, trading more than $15 higher than the federal government's benchmark for the 2021 budget. The budget, which was signed by President Muhammadu Buhari on December 31st, was based on an oil price benchmark of $40 per barrel and a production level of 1.86 million barrels per day. The upturn in oil prices was supported by Saudi Arabia's pledge to cut output and a global stock rally as investors look beyond rising coronavirus cases. Deutsche Bank AG has agreed to pay more than $124 million to avoid prosecution and resolve charges it violated U.S. anti-bribery and commodities trading laws, the latest blow for the German bank as it tries to repair its image after a series of scandals. The payout, roughly two-thirds of which it is a criminal fine, is part of a 3-year deferred prosecution agreement with the U.S. Department of Justice and a related civil settlement with the U.S. Security and Exchange Commission. Both accords were made public on Friday at a hearing in the federal court in Brooklyn, New York. U.S. prosecutors accused Deutsche Bank of violating books and records provisions of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, which bars companies with U.S. operations from paying bribes elsewhere. And in entertainment, American rapper Cardi B has suggested that incumbent President Donald Trump be thrown in jail over the 45th U.S. president's social media outburst. The rapper took to her Twitter page to state that impeaching Trump is the appropriate suggestion. His outburst barely a few days to Joe Biden's inauguration led to his ban on Twitter and Facebook. And in sports news, Cameron Norrie barreled into the second round of the Delray Beach Open in Florida with a dominant 6-2, 6-1 win over American JC Aragon. The 25-year-old British left-hander next will face third-seeded Adrian Manarino, also a left-hander, in a bid to reach the final 8 of the tourney. That figures to be a tougher match for Norrie, who needed only 67 minutes to dispatch Aragon. Elsewhere, American John Fratagello beat qualifier and fellow American Kevin King 6-2, 6-2.
He is a former champion here in Delray Beach, Ivo Karlovic. Moving on to round 2.
And that's the news at this hour. For more news updates, please follow us at Plus TV Africa on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel at Plus TV Africa. We'll be back later with more stories. I am Adi Banke. Thanks for watching.
for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Bukky November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Nigeria, by extension, Africa, is faced with a lot of challenges. The growing youth population with little engagement, that is a ticking time bomb. We are a blessed people with diverse culture and highly cerebral minds who have a lot to say. And yes, we are talking. It is important we drive the right conversation that informs, inspires, influences thoughts and action. If we say there's beauty in our diversity, then let us embrace our diverse culture. We must continue to courageously be the voice of transformation as we are the hope for the future. Yesterday's conversations shape today. What are you saying to shape your tomorrow? We know you have a lot to say, and we are here to hear you.
when I heard him, I didn't know he was a sickler until last year. Though at birth, from birth till like age 2, he was always getting sick, always leg pain, my hand and everything. We did a genotype test, then they told us to say AA. So we didn't even think it was sickle cell anemia. So once he clocked 2, he stopped having crisis. So we continued like that until last year. It was a mistake. So it was during the exam, he now started serious, couldn't breathe properly again. Though naturally, he's always been on no matter what he eats, he doesn't add weight. But for him, I knew from birth that he was a sickler.
Some of my own experience are the hand pain. The hand pain, I've never experienced the hand pain. I only experienced it once after all the pains were gone. But the chest thing was the first I started experiencing.
When there is a deformity in this oxygen carrying capacity of the blood, that is, there is a deformity in the red blood cells. This oxygen capacity, carrying capacity, it becomes abnormal. It can no longer hold. Now, what we call sickling, that word sickle cell comes from sickling of the red blood cells. The red blood cell is biconcave, and when it is now sickled, it's cut, it's sickled. You know, like a sickle, that means the capacity, the ability to carry oxygen is reduced.
There are a lot of challenges, but I will go with, growing up having sickle cell is one of the most difficult things ever. And I believe also that surviving sickle cell is dependent on how the warrior has been treated.
Living with it in your school days, you have to know how to survive. Sometimes you miss classes, you miss exams because you're having a crisis. Sometimes you have to, the relationship between your family and friends becomes, there's this strain, especially if you don't have a patient family, that really understand what sickle cell is.
I was exposed to a lot of medications, a lot of treatments, a lot of prayer houses, a lot of deliverance sessions. So, being a child, you have no option. You just have to go with whatever your parents say.
Whenever any person has had sickle cell and there is manifestation, then what we can do is to now treat or prevent them from having crisis. So there is one thing to have sickle cell, another thing is to have crisis from the sickle cell. This crisis is derived to oxygen delivery to the blood cells.
Malaria is something that actually brings my own crisis and blood infection, the usual typhoid that they call. If it starts with my limbs, I know malaria is around the corner. But if it starts with my vertebral column, I know that this could be blood infection.
What makes me know that, okay, probably I'm going into crisis is that I start feeling a bit tired, a bit weak. Then I start feeling these pinches, in my body. I started having crisis even before we knew it was sickle cell. So I've been living with I'm 35 now. So let me say for 35 years.
There are times I don't go to work for like a month, sometimes 2 months, as long as the crisis lasts. But thank God for the kind of people I work with. They tend to understand with me. It's financially burdensome. Your work, if you don't have good people working with you, it affects that too. And there are some instances where you lose a job.
I won't say it has been easy with the siblings and him as well. Most times when we are on break and we get to witness him during the crisis, it is always heartbreaking and a tough one to see, to be honest.
There are many complementary remedies. So many people have tried different things. But we know, scientists, that the major cure for sickle cell is red cell transplant, bone marrow transplant. Go down and transplant the progenitor cells, and transplant it so that they will now start producing the new cells the newborn cells that carries oxygen better than the adult cells. So that's the major achievement. The other complementary measures are just palliative people, right? Well, for scientifically, we have also used hydroxyurea, one of these medications.
And the stigma starts from home sometimes, right? That's from the family. And of course, they will think you're different. And this brings about conflicts between, sometimes they even say it's the woman's fault, right, for bringing forth a child with sickle cell. So there's this conflict between a household.
The stigma is still there. Now, what did you do now? Why didn't you do blood tests before you at the point you're telling somebody this was going on? It's not as if you've not actually blamed yourself for what happened enough, but they're still telling you you should have known better.
Someone has told me that if you die, you are not in the child. Okay, I don't know if you get the message that was being passed, like you cry so much. Every time it's all about you, every time you're always sick and all that kind. I didn't cause this for myself.
The first time that I told them that I was a sickle cell, but they didn't believe me until my mommy told them that I was actually a sickle cell. That's when they not believed me. They apologized for laughing, then they not started treating me nicely.
I've been in a relationship where the parent told the person I was going out with that they don't live longer. There's no hope in getting married to this person, and they wouldn't want their child to go into a short marriage.
Some of it are, let's start with our cultural and religious beliefs that this is not a genetic problem. They don't see it as a medical problem. They see it as spiritual in Africa. So these are the kind of things we want people to know, that this is a medical condition and can be managed. When you give birth to a child and the child is always falling sick, high fever, always crying and all that, automatically people will think that, okay, the child is possessed. Some people believe that it is contagious. Before all the medical interventions, children die before the age of 5, not because it's spiritual, but because there's lack of hospital care and proper drugs. But with hospital care and proper drugs now coming into play, there's a bit of improvement and warriors can live to 90 years.
So the parents need to be educated that if their genotype does not match for use at least AS or AA, they should not go ahead and marry.
I am still blessed. There's a lot of pain associated with it, but I'm still thankful. I'm saying I'm still grateful. I mean, regardless of everything, I still have someone who was able to kind of, damn the consequences and say, okay, yo, forget about what other girls have said. I'm going to marry you, regardless of what they've said. I'm going to take a risk on you. And she did. And I got married, and I have 2 kids.
For me, it has helped me to build a lot of positivity. Because I've been surrounded by so many negativity, I just had to develop it. But then, you can be stronger than anything that is thrown at you by life. If you choose to be strong. If you let situation, you don't have to be a victim all the time.
For children with sickle cell, your life is still ahead of you. You can be anything in life. There is no limit to how far you can get to.
Welcome to Tea Time Roundup on Plus TV Africa, where the big stories live. Here, I break down for you the fun-packed entertainment and celebrity gist that made it to Tea Time this week. Like I always say, if it was big enough, it's definitely on Tea Time, and if it wasn't, it just wasn't big enough. So please do stay tuned and stick with your girl, your favorite, Ifeoma. I know I'm your favorite. Don't worry, I won't tell anyone. Trust me, we're gonna have a blast. Popular Nigerian singer Belash Murder, who had a breakthrough in his career last year, had a few things to get off his mind. His heart was filled with gratitude in one of the lives he was on, as he mentioned that Olamide Zantan and Pokoli had been extremely helpful to his career and keeping him on check to have the successful year that he did. Comedian Ali Baba also warned Nigerians against the COVID-19, saying that it indeed is real as he spent the holiday in isolation. I mean, we've heard this a million times. COVID-19 is not a hoax, it is real. Stay safe out there, guys. We also had Iyabo, a young and talented female upcoming artist who came into the building and had a chat with us. I mean, her voice will take you to paradise. Take a look.
And she's here to bring the rhythm and the beat and the blues. Hey, yes. What's that now? That's a new genre.
Joel, let's hear the lady.
Rhythm, beat and blues. How, baby? Oh,
Please,
yeah.
welcome.
Thank you so much. Welcome, man.
Yeah.
How you doing, man? The dancing DJ. You know, yes, how we dance now. Come on, man. Do that now. You're the dancing DJ. Wake up. Hey. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Yeah. Thanks for gracing, this new year. It's been blissful. Tell us how you do it, because I know you performed somewhere important yesterday. I don't want to call the name before they start UFCC will call for you.
What is EFCC? EFCC has nothing to do with COVID-19, Kini.
Do you know how much they are paying this girl? Do you know how much they are paying her?
No, I don't.
Should we start?
No,
Should we call
let's
EFCC?
Let's not start.
Do you know how much they are paying her to come and perform? If EFCC has to investigate her. I don't want to be a snitch right now. But I know you performed somewhere very important last night, and then here you are with us. How do you keep the energy up still?
So I think it's natural.
It's natural.
Been very hyperactive, since I was a child, so needing no aid, no support, it's just me.
Did you know that when you were studying economics that this is just for papers? I know what I'm going to go into, because those two things are very different.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right, so tell us about the disc jockeying space in Nigeria, because I know that is like the most underrated industry. A lot of people look at DJs and they think they're the ones that do the mixes, and sell pirated copies and stuff. But you're one of the people who's made a good name for yourself, and you've been doing exceptionally well for yourself. Now, tell us about that space. How do you think it can be made better, in the industry? What are the structures that should be put in place? And then how do we change the narrative of people looking at you like, man, they're the ones that don't make CDs on the side?
Okay, this is a very, very large topic, but I'll start from somewhere. Okay, the industry really, like years back, it was really, really underrated. That's the DJing aspect of the industry. But I mean, I never really saw it that way. So the moment I put my mind into it, I started to move.
What about being a woman? I mean, I remember the first time I got introduced to you was when Tools was really loud about excited about the fact that there had been a first female DJ. I mean, the fact that we are still doing first female in this day and age shows that there is, there's a disparity, and obviously more space needs to be filled. So
you mean the gender now?
Yes, in your space, like being a female. If you're having the first female, that means no one has ever done that before, which is weird because they've had males.
For the beat, actually.
Yeah. So. How is that like for you? Like, do you feel like there are spaces that you can't really enter, or it's not that they're even blocking you, just that a lot of women just don't go into that space? What do you think? Is this structured, or is it just a personal thing?
No, so generally I believe in positivity. So for the longest time, I had my fellow DJs debate on people not saying female DJ, but a DJ, But I mean, I'm just moving. Somehow I'm just moving because I don't even want to put my mind in that, that space, trying to limit myself from doing things I know I can do.
Exactly.
Your mind is very powerful. The moment you start to use it, you fly. So.
All right, so the mind is very powerful, and of course, man, the legs are very powerful to they carry us to dance. And of course, you have to dance us out of this show, and then, people have to vibe at home. But before we let you go real quick, tell us what's going to happen with DJ Daisy in 2021. What should we be expecting? What's pop? All right, tell us what's going on with you still.
Okay, so a lot is going to be happening this year. I think I have slept on a lot of things, and I'm going to be unveiling a lot of things this year. I'm going to expand the vision, you know. It's not just going to be DJing this time around. I'm going to let you know soon, but not now.
This 2021, if you want to scam me, Mama Muel, you better know already. But yes, you know we'll do it on Tea Time. Yes, we'll always have somebody special in the studio with us. This is not a new phase because in the year 2021, you have been introduced to this guy. Even if you don't know him in 2018, in 2019, in 2020, 2021, me personally, I have shown him to you. And he has killed it. So there's nothing you can tell me that you don't know this guy. But let me just introduce him real quick. His name is Fisayo Michael Olagunju, known as, I'll not tell you because you have met him already. He was born on the 22nd of March in Lagos State, Nigeria. He hails from Ondo State and was born into a family of engineers, doctors, and lawyers. We go question that one. And he, okay, I'll not still call his name. He has always had the knack for show business, as he has made a name for himself as a host and hype man that brings great value and finesse to the hype industry. If I do say so myself, trust me, it is true. With his fluency and style, he had his primary education at Grace Children's School, Bagada. He attended Baptist Academy, Obanikoro, Nigerian Turkish International College, and you know, for his secondary school education, he studied computer science and information university. Sorry, that was a mistake. From Computer Science and Information Technology at Leeds City University, Ibadan, from 2013 to 2016. He also holds a certification as a fiber optics technician by the Fiber Optics Association, courtesy of the IMT Computers. This guy, I don't even know where to start from. But me, I know him as MC Fish. The one who swims in water without the oxygen. The one who can come out of water and still make it out alive.
I can see why you're not in the hype man business though.
I'm terrible at it.
Yeah, you are.
I should stop.
No, you are. Yeah. Let's leave it to the hype man.
Oh yeah, please hype yourself.
Oh, wow, that's heartbreaking though. Okay, but you know what? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is the real MC Fish. They call me the chosen one, and I'm a hype man, I'm a host, compare, and also a nightlife connoisseur.
Okay.
Welcome to the show, MC Fish.
Please, how did you get that name? Why MC Fish?
Okay, I was in secondary. No, it wasn't like, it's actually, it's been like that from secondary school.
Right.
I was in class one day, and my name is Fisayo. So, someone wanted to call my name, you know, so she didn't know when she put the H in between.
Fish.
Then my crazy friends were like, Fish, that's your new name that we have given. In fact, I didn't even like the name. But, you know, I went into university and people from school started calling me Fish. It became a virus.
Right. So personally, you know, I've seen you do your thing at several, you know, being the nightlife, you know, night owl lifestyle. I've seen you do your thing on several occasions. Some places I don't even come and tap you and be like, hey, my guy. Because I see that the hype is all around you. So sometimes I just chill. I just enjoy what you do. But, you know, tell us about that industry, that space. You know, what are some of the challenges you faced, you know? Because I know you've conquered a lot. So definitely it hasn't come easy for you. So what are some of the things you faced?
When people ask me how the game is, how the industry is, I tell them it's like it's more or less like a misunderstood profession. You understand? Like the typical Nigerian that grew up in Nigeria, if he goes to a club and sees a hype man, he'll be like, I'm a Yoruba guy. We call them Alagbe Lele, you know. So and it comes with a lot of, you know, how will I put this now? Like
misconception.
Yeah, misconception. You know, people tend to look down on you and all, but you have to do it for the passion. So it's been the passion. No matter everything that I've been through, it's been the passion.
So what is the disparity? Like what do you think is one of those common things that are not actually true about your industry?
First of all, the hype industry is a very lucrative industry. People don't tend to just investigate into it. That's all. There's money in the hype industry.
So people think you don't have money. They think you're broke.
Yeah. They think I beg for money every night. That's the word. They think I beg for money every night.
Right. Do you think you would do this for this long? I mean, you have been in the game for a minute. Did you see yourself always having that longevity? And do you think that would continue? Because that's another thing we don't know about your industry. Is like, is there progression? Can you do this till you're 50?
the thing is, the profession, the hype profession would last long, because these days you don't go to a party without seeing a hype man.
Yeah.
You see a DJ, you see a hype man. So the culture has been, has been accepted in this region, in this part of Africa. So I see people striving in it for a long time.
Right.
And myself, I see myself also being here. So I'm here, baby.
Okay.
I'm here to stay.
You're married to one of the most controversial women when it comes to the entertainment industry.
And the whole entire Nigerian internet.
I know, yeah, yes, it's allowed. Yeah, she's very, very controversial, yet very, very on point, right? Because there are some things that you can be like, okay, yeah, Anita said this, but she will still find a way to still make it make sense. So even if you were not making sense from the start, you still be like, she still makes sense at the end of the day. You get me? So how does that make you, how have you been able to cope with that? Because everybody that tells you marriage is easy is a scam. Yeah, you're happily married. Look at how fly you are. Yeah, so tell us, how have you been able to cope? How have you been able to manage, with your nightlife business and all the ladies flocking around you? Because I can imagine Anita in the club. You don't know my husband.
Excuse me.
Okay, so...
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
A 500 naira they collect them.
If you no talk, then go beat you.
Now 2,500 and they pay.
A multi-talented solo artist, Iyabo takes listeners on a compelling journey of thoughts and emotions with every new release. Growing up amongst the vibrant and diverse music scene in Lagos, Nigeria, and with a few years abroad, was an environment full of inspiration and stimulating for Iyabo to feed off. The Afro R&B singer, however, has her own unique way of delivering her songs, as she believes in the notion of why reinvent the wheels when you can make it better. Please welcome with me, Iyabo. Hi.
Welcome.
How's it going?
Great.
All right, let's talk about that. Where did you go to? Where did you start from? Where did your leg carry you to? Because I know you went abroad. So, talk about that a bit more.
Malaysia, to be precise.
Yes,
How's it affected your music as well?
When you get to a place, you meet people from different walks of life. You're not home, in quotes. So somehow you have to learn. You have to know how they do things. You have to adapt if you're going to be there for, more than a year or something. So I was there for 7 years.
Oh, wow.
So aside from school, I still did music, but fusing the two together, it gives you a different sound.
Not all about just my personal, your own personal work.
No. An artist should be able to come up with a piece of music with anything.
Okay, make music for us. Make a song about me being awesome and him being like, ugh.
It's okay, it's okay. I can be your nana.
I'm kidding. Anyway, yeah. Okay, so tell us about your sound. Like, what influences, or let's say what words we use to describe your sound personally? Like, someone that's not listening to you now, how would you explain it?
Basically, it's Afro soul,
okay,
and R&B. You know, so like when you listen to most of my songs, you can tell that there is a style. So it's not like I'm here and there and there. Even though it is good for an artist to be versatile, be able to do everything, because as it stands, I can do anything.
Even rap.
I can write rap. I've written a piece of music, rap, I think trap for someone. I can do it, but it's not my thing personally. But I can deliver.
Right. So basically, right, I've listened to a lot of your songs, and I see that you always have a deep-rooted message in most of them. That it shows it takes a lot of time for you to actually create those type of music. And I know you play the instruments as well. You play the guitar, even though, you know,
And
in your recent post, you say you're rusty with playing the guitar, even though I thought it was amazing and you look like Lauryn Hill.
All these show-offs, I'll get 98%, like, oh, I didn't do so well, but, you know, let's just manage it, better time.
But would you say that your ability to play instruments, you know, and actually get in the zone when creating music allows you or enables you to come up with those masterpieces such as Nana that you have, which is your recent body of work, am I correct?
Yes, it's an added advantage to know how to play an instrument as an artist, because, I mean, you can have a song idea in your head, but it is easier to bring it to life when you can actually touch an instrument and make a sound from it. So you get to know what to correct, you get to know the direction the song is going, and if it's what you want. So
tell us about AEE.
Okay. All right, that's the label that I'm signed to.
Oh, so you're not an indie. Yeah, you're a boss, madam. Keep telling us.
Please,
Keep going,
give away, man.
It's a giveaway.
Okay, that's the label that I'm signed to.
How's that been? I mean, you started off indie, and now you're signed, which is a big, massive difference.
Yes.
But can you quickly touch on like the perks and disadvantages of being both, of being indie, being
signed to a
and
label.
all of that? Yeah.
First off, it's been amazing. It's a young label, still striving. You know, we are striving together,
which is nice.
Yes.
So it's not like you're in control of your creative process, you know.
That's the good thing. I am in control. I'm allowed to express what I feel
So
into my sound.
That's what you mean by you growing together.
Yes, we're striving together. So that's the good thing. I'm allowed to express myself. I'm allowed to write a piece of music that comes from my heart. Well, I'm not saying that we don't get reviews. We do get reviews. Like, we sit down and check out the work. Oh, this is okay. This isn't. Adjust the lyrics. There is all of that,
which is a good thing as well.
Yes, of course. If you are in a label and you don't get to be criticized by your guys at the top, like, no, this line is too common, change them, or something like that, then
how does that
it's
make
a
you
dangerous
feel
place
sometimes, though, being critiqued for your work? You know, people are not there when you're writing. They don't know what you're feeling, but the moment you put it out there, somebody decides to have an opinion. How does it make you feel?
It's normal. I mean, if you are going to be a public figure, you should be ready to be criticized.
Instagram will even come for you. Instagram will come for you.
They will criticize you well.
It's okay to get. There are constructive criticisms, and there is just pure hate.
Yeah, yes, and it's your responsibility to know the difference.
Yes.
Okay, but I want you to quickly do like a snippet of this criticized work that obviously has been verified by you and your body.
Auntie, can I Nana, please.
Yes.
Wait, you want me to
sing something? Yeah.
From the song?
Yeah.
One day, it's gonna be too late. If you wanna work it out, then start today. Na 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 na. She's looking at me.
Na 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 na. Hey, I can't sing.
It's too sweet.
It's sweet too.
Why is your voice so sweet like that? What's that? Kind of pressure.
Just one more song.
Yeah,
a freestyle. Can you freestyle with Plus TV Africa? Let's see your creative, you know, side, you know, freestyle. I know you're good with freestyles as well.
Yeah. You have to.
Yeah, so let's do some Plus TV Africa
Okay.
and the two Ifes, where Ifes.
Oh, Ifefe. Really? Okay.
Too much love on the table, right?
Let's do this. Do you need a beat? Anything, yeah. Fine,
No.
fine. We
Let's
can
just
vibe like that.
do a cappella. She's terrible with it, don't worry. That's why I'm saving us the shame.
Okay. Say I'm having a good time right here. With Plus TV right here. With Ife on the left, Ife on the right. We're having a good time right here. So wherever you are, tune in and have some fun. I said tune in and have some fun. It's a party right here and a round table.
Okay. So real quick.
And this is where we wrap up, guys. If you did enjoy today's episode as much as I did, then don't forget that you can watch more of Tea Time, all our complete episodes, really, and not just the snippets that I'm giving you, on our YouTube channel at Plus TV Africa. You can also catch the Tea Time crew, myself, Ifeoluwashike, and Eniola on Monday to Friday at 10:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. on DSTV channel 408 across Africa. Signing out is your girl, Ifeoma. Keep it jiggy.
This is Plus Politics on Plus TV Africa.
There were a lot of men, but they chose me.
Parties in Nigeria, they're simply platforms of convenience for people to go and aspire for power.
If you were not awarded a contract, then why are you coming here that you are aware?
Let me explain. No, it's okay. Some people have also accused you of talking too much.
Even if I say things, people like Obasanjo should tell us, don't say that. Not that Obasanjo will be saying, and it is us that will be carrying cake to go and say, Obasanjo, stop that.
If you have your family issues, you don't discuss them in the marketplace.
Those who will take over governance after the exit of the military will be mindful of the economic deprivation of our people.
Will the cost of governance ever be reduced?
Census good, but timing has to be right.
The people who are getting the palliative right now may be the wrong people because we do not have data.
Plus Politics, 7 p.m. Mondays to Fridays on Plus TV Africa.
It is a great source of pride to Nigeria whenever a Nigerian in a foreign country rises to the top of their field and is recognized for good. Here are a few of such Nigerians. Oye Obolewa is the first Nigerian-born Democrat that has been elected as a shadow United States representative out of the District of Columbia. Based on the result, Oye had 82.65% of the votes, which represents 135,234 votes against Joyce Robinson Paul. Oye was congratulated by many, including the Nigeria in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM. His father is from Kwara State and mother is from Oyo. He holds a PhD in pharmacy from the Northeastern University, Boston. He will be representing the District of Columbia under the Democratic Party. Esther Agbaje. Born to immigrant parents, Esther has been elected into the Minnesota House of Representatives in the recently completed United States general election. In the election, Agbaje won by a total of 17,396 votes, which represents 74.7% of the total ballots cast. She will represent District 59B in the 134-member House on the platform of the Democratic Farmer Labour Party, an affiliate of the Democratic Party. She has a degree in political science from George Washington University, Washington, D.C. Oyema Ogbuagbu. Oyema is a Nigerian-born researcher and medical doctor who is one of the brains behind the research at Pfizer for the potential world's first effective coronavirus vaccine. The vaccine has been tested on over 43,000 people in 6 countries, and no safety concerns have